Welcome back to On the Branch. We're going to pick up this S thing. Is it Screw Attack?
It's a super.
Yeah.
It's a super missile.
Oh, she's floating up.
I wish when I pick something up, it let me float in the air and, like...
Well, this scene is like...
put my arms out and just go, like...
We're ruining this scene with our obnoxious talking, but it's, like, the coolest thing when you play it for the first time as she closes her eyes. And think about, I think this game came out in 2002, just how mind-blowingly, visually gorgeous this was. This came out the same year as Halo, and it looked so much better. Yeah. I mean, it is just... This was...
Oh, you got spiky things on your shoulders.
I don't think there was a better looking game by the same up to this point that this game was released. I think this was the best looking game that had ever been made.
Yeah.
What did that say was unlocked?
World Gallery something.
And one of the extras.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, you have the Various suit now.
Yeah.
Which means you have the spiky balls on your shoulders.
Oh, I want to turn around and go out that way. There's like other stuff I can pick up around here.
The way that it's leading you.
We'll come back out later. We'll come back and sweep everything up once we've got more stuff. So during the break, we were doing a little reminiscing about high school. We both went to the same high school, although not at the same time.
It was a nerd high school.
Yeah, I graduated the year before you started, correct?
It was basically you graduated and then I started there, so I met your quote protege.
Yeah, we called him my minion.
And then I was his minion.
Yeah, he's our friend Glenn, and he was very tiny and
very angry.
Well.
His rage was none other in Dota.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Yeah, Dota stories. Add that to my list of topics to bring up.
Rasta.
Yeah. Every time I would just absolutely destroy someone in this game, or destroy the other team, it would be with a new hero that was by no means, like, super strong. If anyone used to play Dota, I'd play characters like Rasta and Zeus.
Can you call down that yet?
Huh? No, that's Spiderball Track. But yeah, every time I just destroyed everyone with something, that was the new thing that was overpowered. Okay.
Oh, Thor is so overpowered, or whatever his name was, Zeus.
Yeah, Zeus. But yeah, there was always a new one. Let's just get out of here.
Even though Zeus was like the worst fucking character.
Yeah. All right, there's more stuff to pick up, but let's just go down this elevator because this is how you want to start Magmore Caverns.
Yep. We can
so
go on that.
We're like 20-25% through the game now.
Already?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're blasting through this.
Damn.
Aren't you glad I'm playing?
Yeah. If we were playing left-handed, it'd be like we'd still be back at getting charge beam.
Yeah. So if that far. So yeah, we had a lot of fun times. We went to a magnet school, which what do they call it other places? It's basic. It's not like a vocational school. It's kind of like that. But
specialty
it's like a specialty school that also has high academic requirements that we've totally squandered in our lives, obviously.
Thank you, No Child Left Behind, for completely removing all the things that I needed to do to get into that school. As a note, it was you had to have at least a 3.2 like GPA. You had to write a letter.
Oh, this is in middle school, yeah.
Yeah, you had to write a letter. Or an essay, you had to get 2 letters of recommendation.
Steam, look at that gorgeous brown. Okay, anyway.
2 letters of recommendation, pass like some testing. It was just like, man, there was so much to do. And now, you just say, I want to be in this school, put me in the lottery.
Yeah. I think when I got in, like, I had to have 2 teachers write me recommendations. Mm-hmm. I had to have a certain grade point average in middle school.
At least like 3.0 or 3.2.
I think that was... And then I had to write an essay as to why I wanted to get in.
And
are these guys the same species? Yes, they are.
I'm going to get a little political here. Thank you, George W. Bush, for putting in No Child Left Behind.
Well, I mean, it wasn't just him, right? I mean, people had to propose that law. He just signed it into law.
Yeah, and
I mean, I'm all for the...
He should have looked at it and said, no, this is dumb. This is going to hold back all of our smart people.
Well, right, because it basically sets all the metrics on the bottom and never even looks at anyone above the bottom.
Why would we want to make our smart people smarter?
Yeah. So, anyway, back to actually the fun of the school. Did they have Robotics Club while you were there?
When I got there, Robotics Club was demolished. It
okay.
wasn't there anymore.
So
I was
my senior year,
upset about that.
My senior year was the last year of robotics. We competed in a group called US First. No, it's not some like nationalist thing. It was an acronym for basically this annual robotics competition where your school like had its team and they put together this robot and it competed at some kind of made up sport. They made up a new sport every year. Well, no, because they didn't directly fight each other. They just competed. So they'd fight over something, but you weren't trying to break the other robots. In fact, you could get in a lot of trouble for breaking the other robots.
I'd still like to imagine that it's like BattleBots. So and you don't mess with that from my head. Please leave that.
Yeah, and at our school, we actually broke our own robot more than anyone broke any other robots. I can't research that yet, can I?
Nope.
Yeah, I will want to research that later, though.
Because you got to break it in order to build it?
Yeah, sure. And then push it, I guess.
Something.
Okay, so that was one of my fondest... Like, a lot of my fondest memories come from Robotics Club, because when you went to compete, you would go out of state often, or at least we would. The only places we ever traveled were Phoenix. We're in Las Vegas, and we were at the time. Phoenix and
like Utah.
LA. I mean, there were teams that traveled across the country, but the furthest we could afford to, we didn't have a big budget, was just our one local one. And 1 year that was Phoenix, and 1 year that was LA. But it definitely we had a lot of good times. The first year that we had it was my junior year, so I guess that means we only had it 2 years.
Yeah, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I was with my best friend at the time. We went. His name was Steve. Was that the year that... No, it was the next year that we were roommates with Glenn, because Glenn wasn't at the school yet. These guys are little pricks. Watch, I'll show you what they do.
They're jerks.
Yeah, they grab you and they take you back to the entrance and spit you out.
And deal damage to you.
Yeah, And they camp it for a second, too.
Mm-hmm. Jerks.
Yeah.
So, Steve, you, and Glenn.
Okay. I will say, the first year, me and Steve had a lot of fun, because I was definitely the fat kid of the crowd, or one of the fat kids.
And back then, you weren't really that fat.
I was pretty fat. I was like, I think at that time I was about 240 pounds, and I was like 5'11", or 6 even. So I was a pretty chubby kid.
240 isn't...
Yeah, it's pretty chubby for a high school kid. Yeah, compared to where we are now, that's nothing. But, yeah. We would do things just to screw with people. Like, every time the bus stopped on a trip, we would get out and, I'd give them a piggyback ride, like, doing laps around. In fact, that first year, we were in,
Didn't you get yelled at once or something?
No, that's later. No, that was with Glenn, who was even tinier. Steve was really skinny. Steve was maybe 120, 130 pounds.
So a twig of a person.
And he was 6 feet. He was tall. But yeah, he was definitely rail thin. But, no, one time, in fact, we switched it up. He was really strong for being Mr. Skinny Skin. And, he actually did that to me one time.
If you're mostly all muscle.
I was almost twice his weight, and he could give me a piggyback ride. Things you do in high school.
Just for the fun of it,
There's a way, there are things in this room.
Yeah, and we're just not finding them.
I'm wandering looking for the holes.
I was gonna say, isn't there like a thing that you got a bomb or something? Or
yeah, there's also this down here. I think this is the entrance. Yeah, this is one of the entrances.
There we go.
Yeah, that was the second year we went. The year that I found that all of my friends were into the same kind of porn as me, and we watched it together in the hotel room. It was great too, because it was like 3 of my 5 best friends all in the same like hotel room for a night. No, nothing happened. You guys can
just porn
you guys can ship it however you wanted. But yeah, pretend whatever sexual fantasies you have about us doing,
weird
high school boys.
In high school.
Yeah. I mean, why not? We do it about cheerleaders. Why not Robotics Club kids?
Yeah, I mean...
hey. Something. All this for a missile pack.
Hey, I'd take it.
Yeah. No, the best story... do we have time for this?
Yeah, we got enough time.
Okay. That second year we went... these people are always sticklers, like the chaperones and volunteers.
Safety,
very safety-oriented, for, good reason. You don't want a kid getting sent home from another city and they, lost an eye or lost a hand or something. Because, you have people working with power tools in the pit areas. And
yeah, you don't need like screws flying out and poking someone's
Yeah.
eye out, or
And our friend Glenn would constantly get called on it because he would have it off. He wouldn't be within 20 feet of any operating machinery, but he would just be in the zone. Well, this guy's taking me where I want to go.
yay.
So he was constantly getting his ass yelled at. He'd do the stupidest thing. I remember one time he ran up onto a bunch of bleachers that were folded up. So they were super super high up. You had to climb up on them and ran across. But no, the best thing he ever did was we were looking for someone, and he jumped up on my shoulders, and we ran around looking for. I don't think we ran. We walked around, but he was basically my lookout.
Because you get the height advantage.
Yeah, and he got the stinkiest look from one of the volunteers because, of course, he's being a goddamn idiot and running around like a work area on someone's shoulders. And the guy gives him this dirty look, and he says, "What? I'm wearing goggles. It's safe." And the guy he couldn't reply. He just looked at him for a second longer, shrugged, and said, "Okay."
That is the ultimate sign
Yeah.
of giving up.
All right. Next time on the branch, I'll tell one more story. I've got one more good one.
Yay, one more.
Yay.